Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the first ever episode of Talking Sports Stuff and Things with me, your host, Chuck Feelick. Want to give this whole podcast thing a shot, mainly because, well, I like to talk a lot, as those who know me know, and everybody who sees me out there on social media, you know I love sports. I also love a lot of other things. I love interesting topics. I love everyday stuff. I just like enjoying life, trying to be funny, keep it light, and that's what this whole thing's going to be about. So just going to try to record some stuff, maybe give it a shot your way to work, listen to it for 20, 30 minutes. Maybe I can suck you in for the whole time. Who knows? Give it a shot. But anyway, with that being said, I do talk a lot. Try to put it to some good use. If you do want to reach out to me, you obviously can find me on Facebook. I'm also on Twitter at ChuckGoBrowns. Feel free to shout out at me there, and also to shoot me an email at chucktalksalot@gmail.com. That's chucktalksalot@gmail.com. Shoot me some emails. Let me know what you think of the podcast. Give me ideas, stuff you want to talk about. Give me reaction, all that good stuff. I'd love to interact with everybody. Give me ideas. So feel like you're part of the show. I want this to be a show that spans out to everyone I know, and hopefully makes me know a lot more people as time goes forward. So with all that being said, try to get this thing underway. As you guys that do follow me on social media know that when it does come to sports, Cleveland sports are my passion, and of course the Cleveland Browns are a big part of that. And I know it's baseball season. I'm definitely all in on the Tribe, attending games whenever I can, watch them every night. But there's one thing that's been going around out there, in particularly about the Browns, that has been kind of driving me bananas really ever since the season ended, and especially since the big Odell Beckham Jr. signing. And that is the fact of basically people telling Browns fans that we're not allowed to be excited about the Browns. We did win 7 games last year, put us about the middle of the league, give or take, but essentially we were at least as good or better than half of the league. So it's not like we were, 1-31 like we were 2 years prior, which we're all very well aware of. And I understand that the Browns have also sucked for, 20 years. I get it. That doesn't mean that at some point when they get better, we're not allowed to be excited and talk about it. If I just had a nickel for every time I had the phrase pump the brakes thrown at me when it came to, being excited. Oh, paper champions. You haven't won anything. Can you have a winning record before you go on and on about your team? No, that's not how it works. If it just comes down to winning and that's the only time you're allowed to be excited about your team, then no one should ever have a sports conversation until there's a Super Bowl, at least regarding football. You can't talk about your team till after the Super Bowl. If your team won the Super Bowl, you can be excited. If they didn't, no one else is allowed to talk. This doesn't make any sense, man. I mean, how am I not supposed to be excited? If this was any other team other than the Cleveland Browns, not only would their fan base be excited, but everyone would have a different outlook on it. Oh, man, you guys are going to be good, this and that. I have to keep getting told, oh, give me a break, you're a Browns fan. What do you know about football? Right. So since my team that I follow has stunk for a better part of my life, that means I don't understand football. Those two things don't coincide with one another. How good or bad the Browns are has zero reflection on the knowledge that I have on football or any of the other fans as well. So what I'm trying to get to is that it's okay for Browns fans to be excited. It's okay to think we're going to be good. Everybody else thinks their team's going to be good. I don't hear anybody telling them to pump the brakes, knock it off. Maybe it's because I don't follow that team. Maybe every other fan base tells every other fan base they're not allowed to cheer for their team, or not allowed to get excited, or not allowed to act like they're going to be good. Maybe they do that. I don't see it because I don't follow those teams. I only follow the Browns. But just to put it out there, I am excited. I do know and think we're going to be good. And I have every right to do that. When you do win 7 games and you have a rookie quarterback come in, only start 13 games, and in those 13 games set the record for most touchdown passes by a rookie, passing Russell Wilson, passing Peyton Manning, does all that in 13 starts without even having a true number 1 wide receiver. Jarvis Landry was thrown in as a number 1 wide receiver. That guy's not a number 1. So now that we have arguably the best wide receiver in football, save your takes as to who. Well, it's Julio Jones or Antonio Brown. Okay, I'm just saying he's in the conversation as the best wide receiver out there. We just added that guy to a team with the quarterback who I just spoke of. Also a running back who ran for 1,000 yards. Granted, I know he lost like 6 yards on his last carry of the year, so he did finish the season under 1,000. But the dude ran for 1,000 yards. I don't think he got over more than 6 carries until after week 6. So again, a guy who, had he been given the full opportunity, would have been there. So I guess what I try to get to is, don't tell me I can't be excited, and don't tell me to pump the brakes. Not only am I not pumping the brakes, I'm a semi-truck going downhill with no brakes, fully loaded to the hilt, and I'm going to put the pedal to the metal. I'm ready. I've sat through 1-31. I've sat through how many 2-win, 3-win, 4-win seasons. I've been told to be quiet because my team sucks. I'm sure not going to be quiet when my team not only played well, but is going to be even better the next year. You know, how many times, win something before you talk. Well, we not have won something as far as a Super Bowl, but we did win 7 games. Easily could have won a couple more. I know, preaching to that's everybody's story every year because there's lots of close games. But nonetheless, point being, if you're listening to this and you're a Browns fan, keep it going. Pedal to the metal. Don't stop. Keep the faith running. Don't let someone tell you be quiet. If you're not a Browns fan, sorry, man. You're going to have to get used to it. And I can tell you right now, if you get tired of people talking about the Browns, once this season starts and it goes the way I think it's going to go, maybe not the way some of y'all think it's going to go, but if it goes the way I think it's going to go, you might as well go ahead and mute me, unfriend me, whatever you got to do, because it's going to be a long year for you, and it's going to be a really sweet one for me and a lot of people that I know. So, that's all I really got to say about it. I just want to get it out there that I'm not pumping the brakes, and neither should any of the fans, baby. Let's go. Dog check, baby. Let's go, Browns. I'm ready for it. So, moving on. It's not quite football season yet. I'll get back to that here in a couple weeks after I go to my first preseason game. By the way, season ticket holder here for the first time in my life. Pretty proud about it. Can't wait to be every home game, knowing I already got my tickets in my pocket. I won't go on about it, but big moment for me. First time in my life, and I'm very, very proud of it, and couldn't be more excited to attend the game. And when it comes to attending games, that reminds me of another thing that is always in the news, or in conversation, I guess I should say, about the length of games. Baseball comes up in that a lot. So with us being in the heart of baseball season right now, I'd like to delve into that because, I don't understand what everyone's obsession is with speeding everything up. They want to, the baseball season's too long. They do the same with basketball, but baseball season's too long. The games take too long. It's boring. Well, if baseball's boring, it just means you don't like baseball, which is okay. You don't have to like baseball. I don't like knitting or scrapbooking or gardening. I don't like any of that. It's boring to me. But some people love it. They live it, right? So it's just your taste. If you don't like it and it's boring to you, that doesn't mean that speeding it up makes it better. You just don't like it. I don't want it to be sped up. I mean, a baseball game takes a few hours. So does any other sporting event you watch. Football games take 3-4 hours. A soccer game is 90 minutes. So you're going to be in and out in 90 minutes, maybe 95 minutes. You know that for sure going in. Why doesn't everybody just watch it then? Why aren't all of you just cranked down in your Arsenal jersey getting ready to watch the game as soon as it's on? Because you already know it's going to be over and you can go do whatever it is that everybody else needs to get out there and do other than enjoy themselves at a sporting event, which is the whole point. So baseball has just as much, if not more action than, say, a football game. Everyone always says that they love football, but baseball's too boring. In football, a lot of times you got, so many commercial breaks. You're waiting 30 seconds at least between each and every play. A play happens. Quarterback snaps the ball, hands it to the running back. He gets hit at the line of scrimmage, falls over. You sit around for 30 seconds, wait around, and maybe the same thing happens again. Watch a baseball game. There's a pitch thrown much faster than 30 seconds. On average, I think, and I don't want to throw that out a number because I'm making it up, but it's going to be 20 seconds or less. He's going to throw a pitch. Does sometimes it take longer? Sure. But imagine if they took a commercial break in between every pitch, like at a football game, how they do. So the fact is the problem is when we watch baseball, if you don't like it, you think it's boring because when a pitcher's up there deciding what pitch to throw and he's looking at first, checking the runner, getting ready to fire that thing home, there's so much happening right there. But if you can't appreciate it and enjoy it, you're going to think that's boring. But if you can sit there and think, what's the pitcher thinking? Is he going to throw a fastball, curveball, slider? The pitcher's hoping he's going to throw what the batter's thinking the opposite of. He's got to check the runner at first. Is he going to steal, lead off? All these things are happening. It's not boring. There just isn't 22 people moving at the same time. Even if those 22 people move at the same time for 1 second, it's the illusion that it's more exciting. So I'm just getting at, I don't know why games need speeded up. I mean, sports are a break from our reality, man. It's a time to have fun. It's, I scream and cheer and watch these games in my own living room as if I have any effect on it. And in my mind, I think I do. And even after saying how silly it is, I'm still going to think it. But it's time to have fun. I don't know why I want that to go any faster. And if you're just too busy and your life is so busy that you can't watch a baseball game in the time it's allowed, well then, hey, your life's probably pretty exciting. You don't need to worry about it anyway. So don't worry about speeding it up for me, because I don't want you to speed it up, man. I want to take my time to watch my sports. So if someone else can get at me at that, explain it to me. Shoot it back to me about, hey, this is why I want sports, but this is why it's boring to me. Let's talk about it. I want to understand who thinks sports are boring, particularly probably baseball, but any sport you think is boring. Tell me why. And let me know how you would speed it up. And if baseball was faster, I guess so, if a game took a half hour less, would you just watch it more? Is that a real thing, or is that just another thing that's said, and if it happened, you're still not going to watch it because it just turns out it's not that it's too long, you just don't like it. You know what I mean? But so real quick before I forget as well, as I mentioned in my Facebook Live video, I was said if you give me a code word, I'm going to go ahead and put all these names in a hat, and I'm going to draw a winner out to go to Browns training camp on Sunday. So I got some tickets to throw out there. So if you go to my email, which I said chucktalksalot@gmail.com, email me the word I'm about to tell you and the phrase I'm about to tell you, and I'm going to put you in a drawing. And I'll do a live drawing for that on Friday. So this coming Friday, I'm going to put all those names in a hat, and I will do it live on Facebook, and I'll draw out a winner. And I can just digitally transfer those tickets right over to you so you can go enjoy training camp on Sunday, since I got the tickets and I can't make it. So that being said, all you got to do is email me Baker Mayfield rules. Pretty easy. I think we can all remember that. You got it? That's Baker Mayfield rules. Go ahead and send me an email. Let me know your name, number, if you would include that in the email so I can get in touch with you. And that's chucktalksalot@gmail.com. So get that out to me. I even threw it in there before I was at the end of the podcast, so if you didn't want to listen the whole time, you don't even have to. See, I'm looking out for you guys out there, man. Looking out for you. So, and, just to let you know how this thing's going to kind of run going forward, I mean, I picked a few topics I wanted to throw out there and talk about. They were just kind of things that are in the news and things that kind of been on my chest. And the whole point of this is I can get my point, get these things off my chest, tell you how I feel about them, things that I read about all the time on social media, on Twitter especially, or things I hear on my sports talk shows I listen to all day. So just to get these things out there. So moving forward, the format of the show probably changed a little bit. Again, I look for suggestions of what to talk about, but also just, things that happen in daily life. Like I just want to share things with you guys, things that happen to me, like today. I mean, I'll just throw this in there real quick because this did happen to me today because I drive for a living. So I'm out on the road all day and I see this a lot, and I'm sure y'all do too. I'm not sure that a lot of people understand the point of a turn signal, mainly because I think they actually need to think that the turn signal being turned on actually is what needs to happen for the car to make the turn. And what I mean by that is, you're behind a car and they kind of start getting into the center lane to turn, but they kind of don't. And they're like really taking their time, but yet there's no turn signal on. And then maybe you see them get into the turning lane and they kind of keep going and they keep going. And then as they start to make that left-hand turn, then all of a sudden you see that light come on. Like at that point, kind of think the light defeated the whole purpose of why it's there. I'm not sure everyone can wrap their head around the fact that the light is to let me know you're going to make a turn. You see, that I'm supposed to know it's going to happen. So I don't know. That kind of stuff just strikes me. I know it happens to everybody. So let me know what you think about turn signals and why they're not used effectively. Do we need a class? Should I do a whole podcast about turn signals? I don't know. Anyway, enough about turn signals. I'll move on from that. But something else that's been kind of flying around here, especially after Kevin Durant had decided to leave Golden State. But what I'm getting at is the retirement of jerseys. This was a real popular take here a few weeks ago. But, so Kevin Durant decides he's leaving Golden State, which is fine. But Golden State shortly thereafter announces they're going to retire his jersey number. Now, to me, a team retiring someone's jersey number that's the ultimate. That's the ultimate. And just winning a championship for a team doesn't, to me, necessarily mean, okay, I'm retiring your jersey. Because my goodness, there's a championship won every year by somebody, and somebody's the best player on that team. We would have been out of jersey numbers a long time ago. I feel getting a jersey retired is like, it goes so much more into it. First of all, if I play for a team for, 3 years, 4 years, to me that's almost, unless you, I guess, just came in there and won me 4 straight titles. I mean, maybe, but I still don't know. Like, the jersey is retiring to me is like, it's a city thing. It's not just like that team. Like, you came in here, you played here for like probably a good, I'd say close to 10 years. I'm not saying that's a cutoff or anything. I'm not drawing a line in the sand there, but it just is so much more than like you came here, you played for a couple years. I mean, and my point being, like, it wasn't just Kevin Durant. Shortly after that, they announced they're going to retire Andre Iguodala's jersey. I mean, Andre Iguodala, he's like an okay player. He's a pretty key part. But, that was also because he was on a team with Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson. Like, of course he can be good because nobody cares about him because they only care about the other 5 Hall of Famers or future Hall of Famers you're going to have on your team. So, you put him somewhere else, he's not the difference maker in someone winning a title. Did he play a key role for Golden State? I guess. But would they have won the titles without him? I think so. My goodness. When they beat the Cavs, and forgive my memory, I don't have this written down or anything, but I want to say maybe 2000, I guess the 15 championship. I believe that was the year that Andre Iguodala won the MVP, Finals MVP. Now, he won that Finals MVP, and I remember so much talk going into the fact that he won it because he was guarding LeBron, and he was, he helped slow LeBron down. And it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to me since LeBron led every player on both teams in every statistical category. So I'm a little confused by that. No player's ever done that before or since, and probably never will. But he led all of the Cavs and all of the Golden State Warriors in every category that exists. Not exists, but in points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, all of it. But the guy who was guarding him won Finals MVP. So I don't really understand the concept of retiring his jersey either. And then right after the finals were over, I heard people having a discussion in the debate if Toronto should retire Kawhi Leonard's jersey. The dude played there for a season. Did you win a title? Sure. But he then bailed on you. Like, that comes into the conversation when it comes to retiring someone's jersey. This guy had a chance to re-sign you with you, stay with you, bring in other players, however you want to look at it. He just said, nah, I only came here because I got traded here, had to come here, and now I'm out. We won a title, but I'm still leaving. So you want to retire that guy's jersey? And that brings us full circle right back to like Kyrie Irving's. Kyrie Irving was a great player, and if he also helped win a title here once LeBron came back, of course. But as we can see now, he couldn't win before LeBron. He went to Boston, couldn't win there. We'll see what happens when he goes to Brooklyn, but I can promise you what, he ain't going to win next year because he ain't going to have Kevin Durant there. Kyrie's a great player. Really awesome when he has someone else there to help him out. And not only that, but then when he left Cleveland, the dude just can't keep Cleveland out of his mouth. Just has to constantly bash Cleveland like as if the fans here didn't appreciate him or love him or something. That guy was on the top of all of our lists. If you were a sports fan and a Cavs fan, we loved Kyrie. I loved him. I got shirts. I got jerseys. Love Kyrie Irving. And for whatever reason, when he left here, he just trash talks Cleveland. Trash talks everything about it. Now he's getting out of Boston. Trash talking that. He's obviously just a different cat. He's a different dude. And hey, you do you, man. But all I'm saying is that comes into play when it comes to retiring your jersey. And I know I already covered this previously before and people have heard me talk about it. But man, people say, yeah, but Kyrie Irving hit the biggest shot in Cavs history. Won us that title. It's not true. That shot did not win us the title. It was an amazing shot, and we needed it, but I mean, there was a lot of other things that went into that championship. The block happened in that game. There's just a lot of stuff. I don't need to go ahead and rehash it. It is what it is. All I'm saying is so much more comes along with getting your jersey retired than just playing somewhere for a few years and having some good games and maybe winning a title or so. So stop with the retiring of jerseys. I think it just comes with, it's the microwave society that we live in right now. Everybody wants everything now. And look, I'm guilty. I'm the same way because I'm used to it now. Everything's at our fingertips. But just because a player plays good for a very short time, he's not already the best player ever. And he's not just retire the jersey. Like, it's like we want all of that to happen now so fast. And I feel like it just used to be a bigger deal, and it had to be such a bigger just moment of this person versus player for a few years. We win a couple things. Okay, that's it. Retire that guy's jersey. He's the best we've ever had. So much more than that. I need to know what you did here, And I already know what everybody's thinking as I'm saying that is, what about LeBron? What would you say about LeBron? I debated whether or not I want to get into the whole LeBron thing on this one. I almost think I should save that for its own episode, quite honestly. I actually was going to get into a little bit, talk about LeBron, the jersey retirement thing, the whole LeBron Jordan thing, because I got a lot of good stuff when it comes to that, that really lays it out for you in a different way. So I don't know. I tell you what, I don't know if I want to get into that right now because I feel like I could go on about that for a half hour at its own right. And I kind of wanted to keep this podcast a little short, little sweet, just so I could get a feedback what people think about it. With it being my first roll at it, I can listen back. I'm just going to throw this out there. I ain't going to edit nothing. I'm just going to put it out there, listen to it. And, hey, I'll take my beatings as it comes. I ain't afraid of it. It's not a big deal. But with it, I guess I'll get into one more thing. But I'll leave the LeBron thing. Maybe I think I'll save that in my next podcast, or hopefully if I can get some reaction from y'all out there. Let me know if you even care to hear about it. I know it's kind of like beating a dead horse when you talk about LeBron versus Jordan. And I'm not saying I'm trying to get anyone to change their mind, but I think I got a good viewpoint on it. So let me know if you want to hear that. If you can give me some reaction and let me know, I will be happy to go ahead and lay out the facts on that and why LeBron is better. Again, you can get me at chucktalksalot@gmail.com. But with it being baseball season in the heart of it and the trade deadline's coming up, another thing, of course, going around is do the Indians buy, sell, do we trade, what do we do? And, of course, the top person at the top of that argument is Trevor Bauer, of course, starting pitcher for the Indians. Do we trade Trevor Bauer? Can we need to get some more prospects. Let's do this. What should we do? What do you guys think? Should we do it? Should we not do it? So when you listen to all of that, you get, I would say, as soon as it comes up, well, Trevor Bauer at the end of this year, good chance he leaves. It's not 100%, but there's a good chance he won't resign with the Indians. So instantly, 80% of the people out there are just, trade him. That's it, trade him. Let's get another bat. Let's get some more young players. That's just the instant go-to. So a couple issues that I have with that is that, for one, I want to win right now. Are we good enough to win a World Series? I don't know that. I have no idea. I didn't think we'd get eliminated as quick as we did last year, and it happened. So maybe if you think we're going to get eliminated, we can go further. You make it to the postseason, anything can happen. Just make it to the postseason. So in order to do that, we need to keep as much momentum going as we can. And we need to have as many weapons in our backpack as we can. Trevor Bauer is a weapon. That guy on his worst day gives you 6 innings and 100 and some pitches, even if he's not giving you his best stuff, if he's having a struggle a little bit. The guy is still an innings eater, and I still trust the guy in the playoffs. Did he have a rough go the last, say, month, maybe 2 months even? I'll even stretch it that. Sure. But that's baseball. It is a long season, as we covered earlier. It's a long season. You can't react to 3-4 starts, and just determine that's how the guy's going to play all year. Because he hasn't. Trevor Bauer's a tremendous pitcher. And it's widely out there. Go ahead and research it. He's definitely known as the best pitcher that would be available on the trade market. So other teams obviously know how good the guy is, and they'd be willing to give something up. But when the answer is always just, go get a bat. I don't like when people just, what bat? You can't just tell me to get a bat. There's not just magical bats. There's not just a magical person standing out there waiting to get traded for that's just hitting amazingly and someone's going to give them to us. Not to mention, we don't have that many holes in our lineup. I mean, I'd be willing to try out another left fielder, and I would have said a second baseman for Jason Kipnis, and I know everybody else would say that too because they love jumping on Jason Kipnis's case, but that dude's been kind of killing it lately. So I don't even know that I want to take him out of lineup. The Indians are playing pretty well, and I guess what that leads me to is maybe we just need to keep Trevor Bauer. But, we'll lose him for nothing. Well, then you lose him for nothing. But maybe he helps us get to a World Series. What about that? I mean, Indians fans in that regard, what they remind me of, they're just drunk on prospects and the idea of the future of what you could get. Just the way Browns fans were always so drunk on draft picks, right? So like Browns fans used to be so drunk on draft picks. Like we could have the number 1 overall pick and it was like, trade down, get more draft picks. Oh yeah, let's trade this guy and get some more draft picks. In their head, it was like draft picks were the things that made the tackles and threw the touchdowns, not the actual player that you got with the pick. So that's what I hated so much about this year when we had that number 1 overall pick and I wanted Baker Mayfield like nobody's business. And I even had people, just take a running back. We'll get whichever quarterback's left. Yeah, that always works out. I mean, whatever quarterback's left, because any quarterback you take at any pick is going to turn out to be good. I mean, look at the Browns' track record. All of the quarterbacks we've taken have been great. So yeah, but just being drunk on draft, we always wanted more picks. Trade down, get more picks. You just need to capitalize on the picks you got, which the Browns have done. And including Odell Beckham Jr., who came with the pick, right? We didn't draft a player, but we used the pick to get a player instead of using the pick to get more picks. So that's where we're at with the Indians. Everyone's drunk on just, trade Trevor Bauer and get a bat. Again, tell me which bat, what player you want. I'll listen to it. I'll have a conversation about it. I'm willing to trade the guy for the right situation, but don't just say a bat. Who's the bat? I need a name, right? And I also don't want get some more young guys. What young guys? How do you know that if you get a young guy for Trevor Bauer, how do you know he's going to be good for us this year, let alone in the future, which we always are thinking about the future instead of right now. Let's think about right now. I want the Indians to win right now. I don't, do I want to keep winning in the future? Sure, I want to keep winning, but I want to win right now. And getting rid of one of your starting pitchers when you're already down Corey Kluber and Carlos Carrasco, and everyone's going to say, well, Kluber's coming back. Okay, the dude has essentially not pitched this year. I'm not even going to throw in what he did pitch. With as long as he's been out, he's starting from scratch. So does that mean, he could be fresh then, Chuck? Maybe. Or he may never even get up and running the way he needs to be by the time we get to the postseason. And we don't know about Carrasco. I just wish that I'm more worried about that guy being healthy and getting better. If he comes back and plays baseball, great. That's awesome because I love the guy and he does a tremendous job for us. But by the way, I do say us and we when I talk about Cleveland teams because I bleed them. So I use us and we. You're just going to have to deal with that. But I don't know. I need to hear some feedback. I'd love to hear from you. Trade Trevor Bauer, don't trade Trevor Bauer. And if you want to trade him, I need details. I need to know why. Give me something. All right? Don't just give me a bat. I need to know who, why, what you would do. Okay? So I think with that being said, I'm just going to kind of wrap this up now. We're closing up. Probably going to do this for about a half hour here. I don't want to go too long. I don't want to bore people. I just want you to have something to listen to a little bit. I'm sure the episodes will get a little bit longer. I'll get better. So hopefully you don't totally hate this. You're willing to take a couple of my opinions, soak them in, give you something to talk about. Whether it's good, bad, I don't care. You can tell me how bad this stunk or how terrible I am or, hey, man, it's fine. I'm going to give it a shot and roll it for a while. You let me know. But either way, don't forget, send me that the Baker's the best and get your chance to win those tickets. So until then, I'll see you guys on Friday and get someone some tickets to go enjoy some training camp. I'll be there Saturday, so I know y'all want to get out there and see OBJ and Baker and Chubb and the list goes on and on and on. I won't bore you with the roster. You guys can look that up. So thanks for listening. Hopefully you'll listen more and hopefully I can get better. Till then, man, y'all have a good one. And just remember, don't look down on someone unless you're helping them up. Y'all take care.